Hi, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Libra Project. My name's Aaron, and on today's TLP Tarot, I've got another collective reading for everybody on this lovely Tuesday afternoon. It is a little cloudy, a little probably gonna be rainy later. I live in Florida and it's that time of year, so what do you expect? Um, but I've got my deck going. It's been nice and shuffled. Got some Palo Santo as per usual, and I've got some incense ready to go. So let's go ahead. Let's get this deck smudged up, get this energy cleared out, create a space for spirit to come in, and we will get going on this reading. So if you are new to the channel, I do pretty much daily collective readings Monday through Saturday. I take Sundays off. I like to have a day to myself. And then peppered in throughout the week, I do other readings as well, just kind of like whatever I'm feeling called to read for. And then I also have a playlist on my channel where we talk about like consciousness, like we go kind of beyond just doing tarot and divination and things like that, and we get into like, okay, what do you mean I am the isness? you know so if that sort of stuff is interesting to you, feel free to check all of that out. Let me see here. Let's go ahead, smudge these guys up. Now, yesterday's reading was a little bit of a wild one. If you were around for that reading, I'm sorry again for taking forever to just be like, it's this, okay, guys? That reading should be up. It's heavily edited because of just how everything went down. If you saw that reading, and you want to see the full thing, I put the full thing over on Patreon. If you are a member over on Patreon, that gets you early access to all of the content that I post, as well as exclusive content, such as that extended, a little bit of a train wreck of a meeting, of a reading yesterday, if I'm being honest with you. But we got it. We got it. It worked out in the end. The messages came through. Your boy finally decided to stop resisting the message and let the message just be the message. But yeah, if you're interested in stuff like that, you can definitely check me out over on Patreon. That link is in the description. So I've got my incense going. Deck's been nice and smudged. Let's go ahead and we'll get right into the reading. So what does my lovely collective need to know on this kind of honestly dreary Tuesday where I'm at? Hopefully it's not dreary where you are. Like I said, Florida, it's that time of year. It is what it is. I'll survive. So there's our first card. And there's our second. What does the collective need to know? What's going on with my collective? Maybe you don't need to know anything. Maybe you need to tell me something. It's funny, this works both ways, you know. Oh, got that one there. If this is your first time watching a reading from me, I don't do like a traditional spread. So these first 6 cards that I'm pulling are really for me to just get some insight into your situation, and then I usually pull a 7th card that is going to kind of be a qualifier. It might be a wild card. Sometimes this card is for me. It helps me like really interpret and like kind of understand like what's going on with you better. Sometimes this card is for you. It likes to do its thing. And then as always, if we feel like we need more clarification, as happens from time to time, we'll always pull some more cards until we feel like we're nice and Gucci. So let's get rolling. So what is going on with my collective on this lovely Tuesday afternoon? Okay, we've got the Lovers. Oh man, this came up yesterday. If you watched that reading, whatever. If you're here again, okay. So we got the Lovers. All right. So this could be you and someone else. We could just be talking about unity consciousness right now. I'm gonna need more than just a Lovers card for that one. Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay. So, okay, right off the bat, this is kind of reminiscent of yesterday's reading. Some of you guys have a little bit of confusion or feeling like there is like, I don't know, this could go either way. There's something around a lover here. There's something around another person. You might be having second thoughts, and that could be in a good way or a bad way, right? Like you could have initially been like, oh my gosh, this person is so great. I really like them, yada, yada, yada. You have like those rose colored glasses. And then these second thoughts could be like, okay, well, let's like temper that with a little bit of reality, right? But it could also go the other way as well. There could be somebody that maybe you have had like a little bit of a past conflict with, that maybe you're not, maybe your initial reaction to like me bringing up this person or like seeing this Lover's card is like eye roll. Oh no, not again. Like I don't want to deal with that. So if that's the case, these second thoughts could be kind of maybe you coming around to something, you know what I mean? Like being like, okay, well maybe this person's really not that bad. Like maybe, maybe they did something that was painful or what have you, and maybe you're kind of seeing that a little bit differently and being like, okay, I could see how that was maybe not the worst thing in the world, or like how this person's actually not a terrible person. You can temper those kinds of thoughts with reality as well, right? Refer to those as like black colored glasses, right? You have rose colored glasses when you look at something and you really are drawn to see like the positive. I call it black colored glasses when you are looking at something and you're like, okay, I just want to see the negative aspect of this, right? Like it has that like, we put that like lens or like that filter over our perception of certain things or certain people, just based on experiences, and obviously when it's a person, based on how our interactions went and what have you. So I think that you're getting some second thoughts here. Could be a good way, could be a bad way. I think you're getting some clarity as well. Something is really starting to like clear itself up here, again related to this Lover's card. So what else do we have here? Yeah, High Priestess. Your intuition, you're very intuitive, and I think that's what's giving you this insight, these second thoughts, as they were, quote unquote. You're very tapped into your intuition around this situation, and I'm getting a very strong sense of you're just letting it be. And maybe that's kind of like the realization that you had, right? Like maybe that's that inner clarity that you're having right now is, you're kind of really embracing and coming into this High Priestess energy and just allowing intuition to take you where you're going. This may not necessarily be the ultimate destination, but this may be something that's along your path, right? And maybe that's something that came in for you, right? Maybe that's a little bit of inner clarity. Again, if you watched the reading yesterday and you're back today, there's a theme here. So that could be the thing, right? Is like maybe what you're seeing is like this person or like a relationship itself in your life is maybe not the be all end all goal of life, right? And so like you're kind of taking your mind and your focus off of that, and you're kind of bringing it inward, and you're just really embracing this intuition, this High Priestess energy. So good for you, because that can be really challenging. There's a lot of stuff that ends up having to be like gone through in order to get to that point. Like this intuition is like, it's almost earned, you know what I mean? It's not really like it's natural, it's there, it's always been there. But for you to be able to tap into it, like I feel like you've had some challenges, right? And it might be around this person too. It might be around the Lovers, right? But you're there now. You're High Priestessing. You're chilling. I think yesterday we had the Empress in that same position. No, that was a different reading. Never mind. All right. What else do we have? Three of Wands in reverse. Okay. So there could be some like minor setbacks. I'm getting the vibe here that you really want to move on from this. Maybe that's your clarity, right? Is you're coming into that internal space and you're just letting the intuition guide. And so maybe you're having a little bit of struggle really kind of like embracing that. Like maybe that's kind of what the delay is here a little bit. Like it's you're moving in that right direction, but there could be like a little bit of a delay related to what's going on here. It's really hard. Like, we talked at length yesterday about like the purpose of relationships and the purpose of life, and how like relationships are part of life. They're not the be all end all of life. Like love is life and life is love, but that doesn't mean a person, right? Like that doesn't mean a specific person. Like the purpose of your life is not to be with a person, right? The purpose of your life is to be you. And to live your life, and any relationships or anything that happen along the way, they happen along the way. Like they're byproducts. They're part of that lived experience, right? Like they're not the be all end all. They're not the end goal of life, right? They're just not. So I think I'm getting here that maybe it's taking you a second to really like kind of come to terms with that. Not on the level of the mind. I think conceptually you're like, oh yeah, totally, obviously, Aaron, like a relationship is not the be all end all goal of life, duh. This is giving me more like experiential vibes, right? So like I'm terrible about that. Like I will get things conceptually and I'll be like, oh yeah, no, it's totally this, like I get that, I don't need to worry about that, like blah 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 blah, whatever. And then it comes time to like actually put that into practice, or like to have the experiences and like do the experiential component of whatever it is that I've been kind of like the energies that I've been dealing with in life lately. And immediately sometimes for me it's just like, what do you mean? And it's like bridging that, right? Like bridging the conceptual versus the experiential. So I'm getting that this is all something that you all understand conceptually, right? Like you have those new ideas, right? Like you have that inner clarity, you have that stuff, like that's been coming in for you, you have that intuition, but there's an experiential component of this that's taking probably a little bit longer than I think you want it to. And again, like I think it's because we're maybe still having a tendency to focus a little bit too much, excuse me, on the short term of things, right? Like a theme that's been coming up in readings lately for me and for you guys is the idea of like short term versus long term. And whatever your goals are, whatever your, dreams are, whatever it is, the thing that you're doing with your life right this second, whatever that is, it's you can't sacrifice the short term for the long term, but you also can't sacrifice the long term for the short term. Like there needs to be a balance there. And so I think that's kind of also maybe part of the energy of this Three of Wands here, is just kind of a reminder that like, even if you are moving in the right direction and you're moving in that direction as quickly as possible, it's going to take the time that it needs to take, right? Like, and some of these things are outside of the control of like the ego and the mind, right? Like there are circumstances, there are factors involved here that we don't always see from like our like human level of consciousness, right? So like let's say hypothetically it does work out with this person, and we, again, if you were in yesterday's reading, it had some similar themes, and the ultimate, like, at the end of the slugfest that was that reading, we got to that conclusion. It was the Ten of Cups, and it was that it does work out for you. So like, let's say this does work out for you, right? This is telling me that you got to trust your intuition and just allow some of the experiential stuff to take place. Allow the experiential component to be maybe a little bit slower than you want it to be. But I mean, it's a Three of Wands, so it's not slowing you down a ton. It's just kind of like, okay, like, I wanted to go 85 miles an hour towards this thing or what have you. And, okay, speed limit 75. So we're just going to go 75 instead of 85. Like, that's kind of the thing that I'm getting. It's like those like smaller setbacks that are, not necessarily, gonna super delay you. But they are delays. They can be frustrating, but just roll with it. Like, just embrace the High Priestess, embrace that intuition, and just roll with it. Like, you're on the right track. You're on the right path. You're going to get there in the time that it takes for you to get there. And that's it. That's it. It is. Page of Cups. Yeah. You have a great new opportunity here. Like, I'm feeling like emotional renewal from this. So I'm getting like emotional clarity too, to be honest with you. Like, you're in a very good place, And I think for a lot of you, you're kind of just realizing like that you're the high priestess. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of just realizing that you're in this like high priestess phase of your life. And that's giving you this kind of energy for sure. That's giving you that page of cups of just being like emotionally refreshed. You see a lot, like maybe you're a creative person. Maybe you like to draw, maybe you like to paint or make music, or to write. And I'm seeing like you have opportunities here that you can pursue. Like you're in a very good place to start doing that stuff, you know? And just like, I don't know, like I'm getting like kind of ground zero creative vibes for you. And maybe it's not like total ground zero. Like maybe it's not something that it's like, okay, well, I've always wanted to learn how to play guitar. So like, I'm going to start learning how to play guitar today. You know what I mean? I think it's maybe like, it could be like you already have this creative energy. You've already tapped into that. It might even be like kind of a core or like a larger part of your life. But there's new opportunities. Like you feel refreshed, like washed energy. I'm getting that from this for you today as well. Like having taken a shower, like just, you know, I don't know, like just clean and ready to go, like emotionally. And like, you know, again, I think it's because of some of this mental clarity, like this inner mental clarity. It is also coming down like into the emotional space as well, where it's like, you know, again, like you maybe you're seeing those delays, but with the high priestess, it's making you just like, okay, I'm good. Like I'm totally good. So there could be like, you know, could be some surprises, could be some cool stuff coming your way. But you're feeling very good about everything emotionally right now. You're feeling emotionally renewed. That's the energy that I'm getting from this page of cups for you right now. Then we have Queen of Wands. That's giving you the courage to act. That's what it is. So you have these insights that have been coming through to you, like intuitive insights that have been coming through to you that have kind of like refreshed your perspective on everything. And it's giving you the courage and the confidence to act and to like really move forward here. And like, I always like to look at the imagery, right? Because sometimes like different things jump out at me. And what I get here is like when you're looking at Queen of Wands, or like I guess most court cards, but like they're usually just like chilling in the chair. You know what I mean? And so this is like a very calm, confident, courageous, like independent, focused person. I mean, in this, it's a woman. You might be a man. You might be a woman. It doesn't matter. Very like focused, driven person. And so this is giving me like persistent strength vibes is what I'm getting from this. Like you have like, yeah, like even it says down here determination, right? Like that's something that like you're really tapped into that. Like so you're somebody who is like, you're very intuitive. Like whatever the situation is with the lovers is almost kind of irrelevant. Like I'm getting the sense that like whatever happened here with the lovers card was really just a gateway for you to move into like really this high priestess energy. So like, okay, back to the imagery of the cards here. Look at this. So we've got the man and the woman, which I guess, you know, Adam and Eve or like whatever here that are on the lovers card. And then look at the pillars on the high priestess, right? The lovers are the gateway for the high priestess in this situation. So yeah, whatever happened with you around this person, and again, if you didn't watch yesterday's reading, maybe watch it. I'm not gonna go into everything again. If you watch it, you watch it. If you don't, you don't. Whatever, doesn't matter. But I think that this lovers card, like I think that's what that's here for, right? Like this is kind of how you got here, right? Like you went through the gateway of the lovers, as it were, in order to really unlock this high priestess energy. And so you're moving now towards whatever your goals are. And I'm getting a lot of creative endeavors here for you guys. Like for whatever reason, I feel like most of you, at least that are listening to this reading, you're a little bit out of the, you know, you're not like a 9-to-5er, or maybe you are a 9-to-5er, but you're not a 9-to-5er by choice. You're like a 9-to-5er by obligation, right? Like maybe you have like a bunch of creative passion, creative potential, but like, listen, I make music. I understand that does not always pay the bills, okay? So like you need to do whatever you need to do to make your stuff happen in life. That's part of the shtick, right? So whether you are a 9 to 5 person or you're not, you're a creative person, and I'm really getting that. And I'm thinking that like whatever happened between you and this other person has really served as a gateway to unlock like kind of your inner kingdom, right? Your inner kingdom, right? Your courage, your independence, your confidence. Like you're kind of falling in love with yourself is a little bit of what I'm getting here. Like you love that you're the high priestess. Like you're realizing like that you are that energy, and you're like, oh my god, like you're right, I am the high priestess. You're right, I do have a lot of creative opportunities, I do have a lot of courage and a lot of self-determination and like passion and for life. And it's like whatever happened here, and we've been doing some stuff, so I kind of have an idea of what happened here, but like whatever happened here is like that's the point of it. So number one, as we talked about yesterday, I think this works out. Number two, I think it only works out if you don't care if it works out or not. Like, I'm going to say that again. I think it only works out if you don't care if it works out or not. Because again, the relationship itself is not the be all end all goal, or it shouldn't be, right? Like, it's a really nice thing, and it's like you enjoy that, you know? Something that I've heard, a way that I've heard this described is that like sometimes that person can be like a doorway, right? And some doorways are like, you know, beaten down, fallen off the hinges, crude, unfinished wood, rusted door handle, and you're just like, oh, I don't even want to like, oh, I don't want to go through this door, but I'm gonna go through this door because I don't know if is the archway gonna fall on me if I walk through it, you know what I mean? And you kind of like want to have that experience be as you know, quick and painless as possible, right? Other people are still doorways, but like other doorways are like, you could have these like fantastic like French doors. You could have like, you know, like a gorgeous front door to like a mansion or something like that. And it's like, okay, well, this is an experience that I would like to continue to have. Cause like, you know, again, I don't know, I mean, how all analogies break down. I don't think a lot of you probably want to just be walking in and out of doorways your entire life, but you get what I'm saying, that like, you know, this person is a person that you would want to have around. Like there's somebody that like, it's a really enjoyable time. It's a really enjoyable experience with them. Like they're distinctly different than anyone else that you've met is the vibe that I'm getting. And I'm also getting that, like, I'm like the message that just came through to me is made for you. Okay. And I just got confirmation of that. All right. Somebody made for you. Okay. That's what I'm getting from this. So here's the thing with made for you. All right. If it's made for you, do you need to worry about making it for you? No. I'm going to say that again. If it's made for you, do you need to worry about making it yours? No, because it's already yours. And you're realizing that. So maybe I'm giving you some of this insight, some of this internal clarity, the mental clarity that's coming up for you. But you're roll with the high priestess, girl. Roll with the high priestess. Like, don't worry about a man. Don't worry about a woman if you're a man watching this. Just, you know, and if you're a guy and you're worried about gender and like whatever, it's fine. Just, you know, high priestess, just it's intuitive energy. Just don't worry about that. But like embrace it. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting like really, really good vibes from this reading for you guys today, which is cool. And everything's been coming through a lot more like easily and clearly today too. So like, but yeah, no, this person is made for you, which means that you don't have to worry about it. And I think you're realizing that. And I think that honestly, that's kind of part of what's giving you all of this confidence. You're like, oh my God, like, wait, like this, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Like, you know, I'm getting the vibe that a lot of you has spent a lot of time really focused on having a relationship, being in a relationship. What would it be like to settle down and have kids? What kind of a parent would I be? You know, what does my partner look like? What do they act like? You know, are they good to me? You know, what kind of interests do they have? Like all this stuff. Like I feel like a lot of you have been putting so much energy into the partner. And you're realizing now, because this person is literally made for you, you don't have to worry about any of that. it's I'm encouraging you to see that as like a relief, as like such a relief and such a release, that it's like, oh, okay, I've been worried about all this time, so now I've met this person. They are actually made for me. It's going to work out. So whatever's happening right now is just what's happening right now. Maybe you're seeing them, maybe you're not seeing them, maybe you're talking to them, maybe you're not talking to them. But like, the message that I really want to get through to y'all today, if you're listening to this, is it doesn't matter either way. Just let it happen. Because if you know, and I'm getting the feeling that you do, if you know that this person is your person, made for you, okay? Made for you, then you don't have to worry about making them yours, because they already are. Just live life, let life unfold, right? And this is maybe that experiential kind of delay here where you're like, okay, well, if they're made for me and they're meant for me and I'm supposed to just let life unfold, then how come it's not showing up right? You know, how come it's not, you know, the way that I want it to be in my mind, or like whatever, you know? It's the way that it needs to be right now. Chew on that. That's all I have for you there on that one. So let's go ahead and flip our last card. Two of Wands in reverse. Yeah, this is beautiful for what's going on here. Honestly, man, I love that for y'all. Like, because you have personal goals and you have personal dreams, and like, you are maybe a little bit afraid of the unknown. You're afraid of jumping in. You're afraid maybe of like receiving these delays. But like, I'm getting the vibe here that like with this Queen of Wands, that you're just going to go for it. Like, you're just going to go for it and let things happen. You should. Because it's the only way. Listen, if you have any doubt, let me tell you this. If you have any doubt over what I said, over made for you, the only way to truly find out is to live. You're not going to find out by sitting on your couch and like getting tarot readings about it, or like, you're just not. Like, the only way that you're going to find out is to live and to focus on you and to focus on living your life, and like to find out if this person really is the one, if they're really the one that's like meant for you, if you really are going to be in like a long lasting loving relationship with that person. The way you find that out is by letting it happen or letting it not happen. And that's kind of scary. And so that's kind of like, that's some of this Two of Wands in reverse energy here. It's like, you know, seeing those personal goals in that alignment, and like being like, I don't know. I'm also getting the vibe that like some of you didn't have this planned, right? Like, I'm getting the vibe that some of you were planners, and some of you are like, oh no, I had plans with this person. Like, in my mind, like, we didn't make these plans, like we didn't talk about these plans, right? But in my mind, we had plans. You know what I mean? Like, we were gonna go and do this together. We were gonna go and travel together. We were gonna settle down in this place together. We were gonna have this many kids, and like, you know what I mean? Like, the mind does that, especially when you're like feeling really, really good and really, really strong about that, you know, about a situation. Sometimes the mind is so good at doing what it's doing that it almost like tries to mimic intuition. And it'll kind of like, you know, you'll have those plans. You'll be like, oh no, we're doing this. And you'll be like, this is so intuitive and like whatever. But really what's happening is like your mind is aware of the intuitive hits that are coming through about a person or about a situation. And then it wants to take that and be like, okay, so that means that it's going to be XYZ, and that like we're going to get married and we're going to have kids and we're going to do blah, 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 you know? And it's just like, this entire reading to me is telling me like, you just let that happen. Just let that happen. Like, you're already realizing that you need to just let that happen. Like, you know, so what was I saying? So some of you are planners. Like, some of you are like really big on the planning, and like what I'm getting here is that whatever happened with this situation, right? Like kind of almost like being forced through the gateway, was not planned for you. You were not expecting that. And that could also be like kind of one of those experiential delays, right? Where like if somebody had told you before you met this person, like, hey, you're going to meet somebody and they're going to like, you know, force you to really look at yourself and like unlock a lot of potential in your life, and like, you know, give you a bunch of creative endeavors and like, inspiration and like stuff like that, you know? I think you probably would have been like, oh yeah, cool. I get that. That's awesome. And then like, but then like meeting that person, going through that situation, and then like experiencing like that kind of like being forced into the high priestess, like be that forced transformation out of like where you were or what you were before into who you are and what you are now, which is who and what you already were. It's who and what you never weren't. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. That doesn't make sense. Just sit with it. But yeah, like I'm getting that you would have understood all of that conceptually, but like the experience of it came along and you were kind of just like, whoa, this is what this actually feels like, this is what this actual experience is. I wasn't planning on doing this. Like I had other plans, but like a friend of mine has a little phrase that he used to say all the time. It said, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And I think that's beautiful. And so I think like, oh man, I'm about to like have a tear. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is like unplanned true love. Like that's what I'm getting here. I'm literally tearing up, you guys. You weren't planning on this, but this is true love. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys. That's so cool. I'm so happy for y'all. Man. This is unplanned true love. It was like you just stumbled into it. And some of it's been a little wonky, right? You've had to do some reflection, had like gotten to a place of having new insights, but like and it was unplanned, right? Which is always a little bit scary. But like there's so much awesomeness that's coming out of here. Like I'm getting you are like being ignited, and like y'all are manifesting yourselves like hard. New creative endeavors, like being super self-confident. You're unlocking your intuition, maybe unlocking like some more like deeper spiritual gifts. Like maybe some of you have never like read tarot before, and you're realizing like not only am I interested in reading tarot, I actually can, and I'm like kind of decent at it, you know what I mean? Like maybe some of you are starting to have like really vivid dreams, that are having like visions about like the experiences that are going on. Like there's just like I'm getting almost forced spiritual awakening out of this. Like I'm getting like it just kind of happened. And it was an unexpected thing, but it happened through this Lovers card. So I again, I'm not going to get into everything that I discussed yesterday. If you want to watch yesterday's reading, maybe that reading is for y'all too. I'm not sure. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's a particular subject matter related to the Lovers and like spiritual awakening and like that sort of stuff that video covers. I'm getting the vibe that some of you are just kind of intuitively like, oh my God, Aaron, I know what you're talking about. That's crazy. If that's the case, maybe you do or don't need to watch that reading because you're kind of intuiting like what's happening here. If that doesn't make any sense to you, or you like are feeling called to go and watch that reading, maybe go and watch that reading. Because I think that, like I said, there's just a lot of like kind of cold information that I laid out in that video, that I'm not going to lay out again because I don't want every video on my channel to be about that. But that's like a good like reference. I would check that out, and I gave you some other references in that video too. So yeah, wanting to spend like as little time on that particular subject matter as possible, but that is absolutely the vibe that I'm getting, and it's become a recurring theme. So maybe I need to sit with that a little bit. We'll see. Anyway, is there anything else we need to know? I'm feeling like we need to pull one more card. What else does my lovely collective need to know? What else is going on? Ooh, got one more. And there it is, y'all. I call this the Harvest card, the seven of Pentacles. I look at that, and that's the Harvest card to me. You're reaping the fruits of your labor. You're starting to look long term. Look at that versus the short term, right? You're playing small. You got some delays, right? but you're looking at the long-term view now. You're looking at where this goes. You're seeing the bigger picture, right? You're seeing the forest instead of losing it for the trees. Like, you're seeing the forest of this situation here. Okay, yeah, go, man. All right, go watch my video. Go watch the other video. Go watch the reading from yesterday. And if the cards and the reading and everything don't make sense, there's some information in that video that I think will drastically help you. If you're called to that, do it. If you're not called to that, don't do it. Obviously, I'm getting goosebumps actually, even just like talking about this right now, because this is kind of really awesome. And kind of very powerful, but you through unlocking all of your inner potential here, you are starting to see the long game. You are starting to see the bigger picture, and you're starting to realize that like the harvest is coming in. Like the time and the effort and the energy that I've put into like whatever it is that I've been putting all that time and effort and energy into, you're starting to, number one, realize that you need to be putting that time and effort and energy into yourself, right? And then number two, it's paying off. Like you're reaping the fruits of your labor here. Like the harvest is coming in for y'all. The harvest is coming in. That might even be the title of this reading. The harvest is coming in. Like, reap your reward, because it's coming. Holy shit, guys. 2 in a row. 2 in a row. 2 fucking crazy powerful readings in a row. That's wild. I'm honored to be here doing this for y'all. I'm honored that you're here listening to me give you the reading. I greatly appreciate it, you guys. I think this is all I have for you today. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. If this resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. If it didn't resonate and you think that I'm just completely full of crap, you can let me know that in the comment section as well. If you want to see more of what I do, be sure to hit that subscribe button. You can ring the bell if you want notifications anytime that I go live or post a new video. And last but not least, if you are someone who wants to have early access to any of the content that I do, if you want to have access to exclusive content, extended readings, which is stuff that I don't really do on YouTube, you can check me out over on Patreon. That link is in the description below. The purpose of that is kind of to just, not only provide you guys with the opportunity to get more and different content in a space where I don't have to worry about like YouTube algorithms and things like that. Excuse me. But it also gives us both the opportunity to have a little bit more of a personal sort of parasocial relationship, as opposed to just some hands and a voice in on a video screen. So yeah, I think that's it for today, y'all. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.